Welcome to Veterinary Compassion Project. I am Dr. Erin Holder, and today I'm here with Lynn Thomas. Lynn is a mental health professional, innovator, leader, and creative teacher for professionals who facilitate transformation. She was heavily involved in pioneering the involvement of horses in mental health globally by developing the Eagala Model. She is sought after presenter at conferences and events worldwide. And in 2021, she leapt into two new visions to train and support professionals: arenas for change and horses for mental health. Lynn, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Here's my first question. What is, and did I say it correctly, the Eagala model?
That was an organization that I co-founded back in 1999 and
Okay.
training and certifying professionals. And that was when things were pretty new in incorporating horses in mental health services. So people are most familiar with involving horses for people with physical disabilities. And so getting into the mental health realm was still a pretty new idea and concept back then. And I had the opportunity to run that organization and lead that for 21 years up and through 2020. And then that's when I started on my two new projects, Arenas for Change and Horses for Mental Health.
What was a catalyst to swing you into that direction?
Well, different events kind of happen that where it's like, okay, this part of my chapter is over, and it was kind of one of those moments. Actually, it fits with what we're going to talk about today. I realized at the end of 2020 as well, with the different events that led to this, that I was also really burned out. Um, and I was in that place in my life of, what do I want to do now? Because I'm tired, I'm exhausted. And but it was actually a group of amazing people that I've met along the journey and team members that said, Lynn, what are we going to do now? And I said, well, I guess maybe we will do something else. And kind of actually it all rekindled my passion for getting the word out there in bigger ways involving horses and mental health services. And so started these two new organizations, Arenas for Change, again, with a group of people. I think one of the things I learned in this process is I don't want to do it alone. I
Yeah.
want to be with a community, because it's not very fun to do it. It's not very fun to do it alone. And I love learning. I love creativity. I love the opportunity to just keep trying to be a better facilitator, a better business person, all these things. And so being around a community and learning with each other versus needing to be the expert, you could say, right? So
Yes.
Arenas for Change was built with that in mind of, let's just a group of us, we want to keep digging deeper and learning about the work that we do in mental health and personal development involving horses, but also nature, other animals in the office. And so Arenas for Change, we call it ARCH for short. AR for arenas, CH for change, because arches are symbolic of new beginnings and new perspective and transformation. And that really fit where we were in our life journey and my life journey. And so started that. And then I had a heart project in mind with Horses for Mental Health, and kind of like, well, we'll start this. I don't know if it'll go anywhere. But it's a nonprofit organization looking to collaborate with stakeholders, industry leaders, and programs who provide mental health services, incorporating horses to spread awareness, to so do more to support these programs, because they're doing so much for people in mental health, but also for the horses. And so I know we'll be getting into more of all of that, but just to kind of share my journey, that it was a lot of the change and transition was both a burnout period, and when you close a door, new doors open, right? And actually I found passion. I found things, a way to follow my heart again.
Yeah, that reinvigoration is so critical. I found myself doing that in veterinary medicine, like constantly reinventing to try and, stay with it, stay excited, stay passionate. It drove a lot of my staff members insane. But looking back, like I'm like, "Oh, that's exactly what I was doing. I was trying to push off the burnout and fatigue because I actually wasn't doing the work that I needed to do to keep myself healthy mentally. So I was just externally grabbing things to keep myself busy. So for you, why horses? Like what's so special about a horse?
So you that's such a good question for me, especially because I had no background with horses. So I share that with people to hopefully invite those of your listeners out there that maybe also don't have a background with horse. I mean, I think in veterinarian, you work with different animals and maybe some are working with horses too, but I actually did not have that background. And what got me involved in it is I was working in some different at-risk youth programs. I had gotten involved in wilderness therapy, and I'm just a big believer in anything that gets you out of nature and that is experiential, that enhances the talking by also doing. And I got exposed to horses, and that's where I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how much impact happened in a 1 hour session that would just take months in any other setting kind of scenario. And so that's what introduced me to the power that horses have in mental health. And now that's where, as you can see now, almost 30 years later, I've dedicated my life to spreading awareness about how horses can be an incredible catalyst themselves and changing people's lives. And so,
I'm so with you. Like, I don't have any idea of why on that crazy day I decided that I was going to bid online. I tell my story all the time. Bid online on this horse. I don't know nothing about horses. I'm a small animal veterinarian with I do exotics, and the horse experience I had was in vet school with the stallions trying to kill me when I went in give them medicine. So why on this day during COVID, did I like, I gotta buy this horse, and I bid on this horse, never seen, done, know anything about it, and then um actually witnessed the incredible power. So I wasn't going to buy this horse to have some spiritual awakening or transformation. I was literally just trying to keep myself engaged and find something to be happy about during a pretty dark time of 2020. And what followed was incredible. And I think now looking back, I can understand the power of like the grounding of horses, and that the heart field is just so massive. And it's like, even when you're in their presence, they just draw you in to their heart field, and then you just attune with them. So your frequencies start to vibrate at the same time. And it becomes like this genuinely transformative, and you're not even speaking. Like, sometimes I talk to him, but sometimes I wasn't even speaking. And through working with him, got to understand like that I was genuinely unhappy and needed to make a change. So yeah, they're just so powerful. And I think rolls into the exciting project that we get to work on together. So tell me a little bit about the Horses for Mental Health project that I'm in.
yeah. Yay. Well, and thanks for sharing that about the power of even you being drawn to this horse. That's such an incredible story. And we started Horses for Mental Health, like I shared, as this passion project of there's so much more we can do to spread awareness. It's come a long ways. There are a lot of people, at least, who have heard of mental health services incorporating horses, although there's still confusion like about physical disabilities and all these different other services that people incorporate horses, and they're beneficial in many ways. But we wanted to do more, and we wanted to do it in a collaborative way with the industry at large. And so our main focus is what we call the Seen Through Horses campaign. We started a peer-to-peer awareness and fundraising campaign that we would bring different, main organizations out there that do training, that are media outlets, other organizations that have an interest in this realm, as well as the organizations themselves that are nonprofit organizations. And we come together during the month of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we provide the whole infrastructure where we teach these programs how to do peer-to-peer fundraising. And they get teams together and mobilize their communities and get people excited. And through that, awareness is spread. And then Horses for Mental Health, not only do we provide the infrastructure, but we provide marketing materials, resources. We reach out to celebrity ambassadors that will go out and spread the word as well. And really, one of the most powerful ways to spread the word is through stories and sharing those stories through video. So we basically produce videos to share those stories to spread awareness about different mental health needs and populations that can benefit through the impact of horses in mental health services. And so and I want to also acknowledge that the reason we were able to move forward with this incredible vision is thanks to our title sponsor, Zoetis, who saw the vision with us, which was amazing because it was a new idea. Nothing like this has ever been done in the
Yeah.
equine industry. It's been done in other social impact sectors, but they were willing to jump on board and take this big risk and say, yeah, let's do it. The first year, I think we had around 50 organizations, raised about 100. No, I don't even know if we raised that much money, like $55,000. The second year, we raised about $111,000 that go all to those programs that are participating. And
Wow.
then this year, 2024, we raised $422,000 that again go to these incredible organizations doing this great work. And so we appreciate everybody coming together. And that leads to us now. So one of the things that we wanted to do is get the message out there about veterinarians and their mental health. And so many people don't realize, I actually didn't realize what it's really like. And your field is so important, especially for these programs that provide these services. That horses need to be healthy.
Yeah.
Um, the horses need to be healthy, not only for them to be able to do the work, but it also gives the message to the clients about the importance of, if a facility cares about the horse's health, then that it gives a message that they also care about the client's health. And the veterinarians, that's why I
Yeah,
say in this,
exactly.
we decided to make a video to share the message of what veterinarian mental health is all about and what it's like for you guys. And you we came together with you, and it's like a perfect fit, and you were able to share
It
your
was.
story in this video, and it's amazing. It's so touching and so powerful. And we look forward to sharing this message to not just the veterinarian community, but people out there who interact with the veterinarian community, which is everybody who has an animal
Yeah.
in their life, right?
We're such a big part of the community in general. So we're taking care of animals, but we play an enormous part in the community. And we have been so trained to get into vet school. We got to just suck it up and deal with it and go through all this. And then in vet school, you just suck it up and deal with all this. And, the person who smiles the most and works the hardest is always rewarded. The person who says, "Hey, I'm really struggling," is often like pushed aside. And so we just aren't equipped with what we have to face when we get out, the responsibility of being so important to the community, so important to the animals, and just trying to keep people now, like trying to keep people in the field. So I'm so excited that I could be a part of this amazing and beautiful project. And by the time this podcast is released, it will be available. So how do people find this beautiful video?
Yeah, so you can go to horsesformentalhealth.org. It'll be on our stories page there, or go to our YouTube channel at Horses for Mental Health. And yeah, feel free to share it, spread the word, anything we can do to get that message out there, both valuing, again, yeah, the impact that the veterinarian community has in the world at large.
Yeah.
And to really start, I hope, to remove the stigma, like you
Yes.
said, that we're supposed to smile and all be strong and strong. That's like,
Yeah.
put
Right.
that in quotes actually, because somehow there's a perception that strength is to suck it up, like you said. And we can't let people know that we're burned out and we're fatigued
We're
because
freaking exhausted.
exhausted. And you guys carry so much. I mean, we think about, so I'm a mental health professional, and carry the traumas of humans, but you guys carry the traumas of humans and animals. Like, you're holding it all, on top of also your whole team that are also holding it all. It's a lot to carry, and I don't think we realize how much it impacts us. We kind of think we can just push through it, and we do. And we don't realize how it just kind of chips away, chips away.
Yeah. Thank you for that acknowledgement. I think that's really important. And it's always nice to hear, I think, for anybody listening to hear that it's being recognized and you're being seen. And certainly, as the video does a great job of saying, you're not alone. And it was just an incredible experience for me to be a part of that, because this video isn't offering a solution to the problems. It's not saying, hey, we're, watch this video and we're going to solve all your problems with doing this. It's just beginning this beautiful conversation of saying, hey, look at her. She's a normal vet. She looks normal. She's smiling, but yet she struggled. And I think that's just so important because as we've been trained to keep all this in and not admit that we do need help, the more we just talk about it, which is me up here talking, is just to get people be okay with it and to be able to talk and say, oh yeah, man, I struggle. Yeah, I'm really struggling. So I think that's an incredibly important part of this. And I'm so excited that Horses for Mental Health will also be a part of our retreat in Petaluma. So so we are going to be showing the video, of course, and you guys will be producing a little segment for what does, we're talking to veterinarians or animal care workers, veterinary staff members. What does this look like in real life? Like what in your program, what does working with a horse for, say, a small animal veterinarian or even an equine veterinarian, what does that look like?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the messages we wanted to put out there in this video too, is sometimes people think, well, a veterinarian and their staff are around animals all day. Why would they want to choose to go go to a
Yeah.
resource of a mental health service that is also around animals? And it is very different experience, and maybe Erin, you can add to this as well with your experience, but it's different when you're showing up for work purpose and you're showing up for I'm just here to connect with myself again. And that's actually the one of the number one things that I've heard of people working around the horses while they do their mental health session is I feel like I'm reconnecting to myself again. And that as they pet the horse, that's what that feels like. And so the connection and the relationship with the horse helps us look at ourselves in ways that feel really safe. It's one thing to sit in an office and talk to a mental health professional, for instance, or a
Yeah.
coach, a wellness coach. I mean, it can go a lot of different avenues. But when we're doing incorporating the horse, like you said, there's something about very calming about it. There's something that feels emotionally safe in that type of environment. And because the horses are so authentic in how they respond to us, they're used to reading their environment and they respond to us in ways that helps us look at aspects of ourselves that we may not as easily look at. I like to say that horses help us tell our untold stories, and it
Oh my
feels
God, that's
safe
so
to do.
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
So non-judgmental. They're
Yeah.
just there. And in one of my blogs, I was just writing, I'm having this in-depth conversation with River, and I'm like, I can't make these changes, River. And he's chewing, he's chewing, he's chewing. And I'm like, I can't do it, River. And he's chewing and he's chewing and he's chewing and he's non-judgmental. He's just doing his thing there. And then I'm like, all right, fine. I'll do it. And so these beautiful conversations that I had with him where he's not judging me and he's just being was just incredibly healing. I mean, so healing that I sold everything and bought a huge ranch and for this horse. So they are very powerful and very transformative. And I think you're so right in showing up to be with a horse is very different than showing up to work on a horse.
Mm.
Because when we're in our veterinarian mode, we are that's our job. When we show up just being with them, that's who we are and that's how we find out who we are. And we do get lost a lot in being a veterinarian. We lose ourselves. I had to go and find myself again because I'm like, I'm totally different now. I'm much older. What do I want? Who am I? So I think it's such beautiful work. Can you tell me more about how people can get to you? Like how veterinarians or staff members can come and find you? Are you around everywhere? Is this just online?
Yeah, so Horses for Mental Health is an advocacy organization, and so we're more of the resource. So you can definitely come to horsesformentalhealth.org and find services in your area that way. We list different directories, and our charity partners that participate in the campaign. You can definitely find services that way. So yeah, look at it as more of if you have any questions or we can support you in your journey and what you're looking for specifically. If you want something, for instance, for your team, like an experience, just to kind of re-inspire, rejuvenate, and we can help you connect with organizations that provide those types of services.
That's exactly what I'm trying to create with Veterinary Compassion Project. So I love that you laid that out there, which is here we are bringing together all these different people who can help, all these different people who, um, you know, just like one person may resonate with getting help with horses, but another may resonate with doing energy work. So I love that, and that is why we are so happy and so proud to be partnering with you guys and look forward to a very long relationship with you and helping as many people as we possibly can. Is there anything that I forgot to ask or anything that you want to add?
Well, I want to again thank you for all you're doing and that you were willing to be a part of this video. Actually, the main part I would say of this video, because you were willing to share your story. And I think that was what was so interesting as we embarked on this journey. There were some kind of surprises for me. One was how many didn't want to share their story because of the stigma. And I understand that, and it's very vulnerable. And yet, until we start being willing to be vulnerable and share our stories with each other, it's hard to really help the industry itself move forward and retain, like you said, we need veterinarians and we need to retain people, hopefully, to stay in the profession. The other thing I was really interested, I'm in the social work field, and yet did not even know veterinary social work even existed. Um, so I was very excited and happy to find out about this whole sector out there. And so we feature that in the video as well. And I just hope that this, through your story and the incredible work you're doing with your project,
Thank you.
I just think there's so many hopeful things that can happen in this sector to keep moving it forward in a really positive way. And that hopefully people can say, yeah, there are some really cool resources out there that can support in reinvigorating and kind of helping us get retouch with our vision, our goals, our hopes, and that, like you said, it's easy to get lost in the hecticness of day-to-day life, you know?
Do you know what was so cool on your video is that there was a Tufts instructor that is using and so, I'm always like so frustrated because I'm like, we got to get into the vet schools. We got to start talking about this way before people launch into their career. So they've got the tools in their toolbox, and there's not a lot of vet schools doing it. And here Tufts is doing just that. Do you know about their program? Can you
Well,
speak
I
on it?
just learned of their program through this
Okay.
project. Again,
Yeah.
that was so cool to learn about. And yeah, if we can get more of these types of programs to better prepare students and what they're going to enter into and have the skill sets, for mental health and overcoming burnout and working with teams and working with clients and patients. And I think giving them the tools ahead of time and that there are the resources available. Like I said at the beginning here, I don't know how anyone can do it alone. I
Yeah.
and why would we want
It's
to?
impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this amazing community, and the veterinarian
Mhm.
community is I've just learned a lot about it and how much you guys do and are there for each other. And so I think we can make a difference through this video and through the movement that's happening and what the students are learning. So it's really great to get to work with Dr. Eric Richmond and yeah, the Tufts University program there. That's
That
fabulous. And
was,
hopefully more of that's happening out there.
yeah. I clicked off the video after I wiped away the tears and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to know who this veterinarian or who this, he's a mental health, he's a
Yeah, he's also a clinical social work.
clinical social worker.
Yeah, social
Amazing.
worker, and I know there are more out there. I was just like, oh my gosh, there's veterinary social workers. Like this social
Yeah.
work as a whole
Yeah.
industry.
We interviewed one and Angie is coming to our retreat. And so she is going to hold space and give us some wonderful lectures. She is a veterinary social worker. So it's very exciting. Um, and, and yeah, we're going to work very hard to stop being afraid to just say, hey, I just need some help. And I think it's a great plan. We're going to we're going to achieve this plan.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you. Thanks, Erin. Thanks for this opportunity to get to
Thank
know
you
what you're
so
doing
much,
better
Lynn.
and to be involved. I'm really excited for all the possibilities. So thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.